Welcome to the We Got You podcast, a network curated for wedding photographers and filmmakers that dives deep into the strategies and tactics to transitioning a side hustle in the wedding industry into a full-time, thriving career. We're your hosts, luxury wedding filmmaker Emma K. Films and luxury destination wedding photographer Hannah Brook Photography. It wasn't too long ago that we picked up our cameras for the first time, having absolutely no idea where it would lead us. Years later, we're traveling the globe for beautiful destination weddings, built our dream lifestyles, and run multi-six-figure careers. It didn't happen overnight and it wasn't easy, but it is attainable and so worth it. And we're ready to teach you our strategies. Covering a variety of topics from both our first-hand experiences and reputable guest speakers' insights crucial for business growth, we're exploring the art of marketing within your niche, discussing effective ways to attract and retain clients, leverage social media, and build a strong online presence, and so much more. We're not shying away from talking through the challenges of the wedding industry and offering realistic solutions to navigate them successfully. We emphasize the importance of networking, establishing meaningful relationships with clients, and continuously honing one's craft to stand out in a competitive market. This is the We Got You podcast. Hello to our We Got You fam. We are super excited. It's both Hannah and I here today. It's the new year, wherever you're listening from. It's super crazy that we are in 2024. And especially that we're doing our video podcast still. It's so cool being able to just see you and talk to you and go through this. And we keep talking about it like it's a big deal, but it is a big deal. We have been an audio-only podcast for 3 years that now being able to do video is so much fun. But with that being said, we want to talk about all the platforms that we cannot live without this year in 2024. These are platforms, software, applications that we are using today that we do not want you to miss out on. So Hannah and I are going to kind of just go through them. Some of these applications you probably know and you probably use. One of the first applications that we use that is vital to our business is HoneyBook. Love HoneyBook for the fact that it is our CRM. It is what we use to bring in our clients, to go through the entire client experience in terms of inquiry to booking to client delivery with them. It's where we send all of our emails. It's where we automate our emails. You can build workflows in there, automated workflows. We send our contracts through HoneyBook. We send our proposals through HoneyBook. Genuinely, it's where we keep everything for our clients. I remember first starting my business, I would send out a contract via a PDF. And then I would send out a film collection PDF. And then I would send them like a QuickBook links to then like pay for it. And there were just so many different avenues that I was kind of forcing my client to have to go through in order to book me. And then I would have to remember and keep everything in folders. And then it's like, here's a PDF from QuickBooks. Here's a PDF from just like with my contract in it. And it was just so chaotic. So HoneyBook honestly has been truly transformative to both of our businesses. It's again, our CRM where we're managing our clients from inquiry all the way to our client delivery process. And two of the things that I probably love most about HoneyBook would be the email templates. I love getting to create email templates so that it's super easy and quick for me to just send to my clients when I need them to. Great example would be I have a template for client delivery. So as soon as their wedding films are delivered, I simply enter in the link that I use from VidFlow, which is where I deliver all my wedding videos. Plug that into the email template that's already been created that I've already written for myself, and I can send it to my clients within a matter of seconds. I have email templates for all sorts of stuff, whether it be like when I send them the wedding day questionnaire, when I send them their films, maybe it's a 1-month anniversary, but I love being able to not only create my email templates, but also automate them and have them scheduled to be sent out at certain times as well. The other thing that I love most about HoneyBook is I love that you can schedule your client meetings directly through HoneyBook with Zoom. So I have my Zoom linked up with my HoneyBook. You can go into your settings and connect this as well as your Google Calendar and your Apple Calendar. I can actually schedule a meeting with my clients right there. Not only will it notify them via email, but it will create the Zoom meeting link that will get sent to them as well. So instead of me going into Zoom and creating a meeting and then sending them a separate email and making sure that they're getting it, HoneyBook makes it so easy for you to simply just schedule a meeting. It'll automate, create, generate the Zoom link that will then get sent out to your clients. and then we'll notify them. And it'll notify them the day that you create the meeting, and it'll also notify them the day before and 2 hours before. And I know you can kind of alter the notification settings inside of your HoneyBook app, but I'm a huge fan of that. It makes my life so much easier, especially with how much I do get to meet with planners or different clients for weddings and events. It's easy. And that is what we love in this industry, is easy, right? Oh my gosh.
Definitely. Amen.
Next app that I want to talk about is QuickBooks. QuickBooks Self-Employed or QuickBooks Online. Both of them are great platforms to use when you're first getting started in your business. QuickBooks Self-Employed is essential. You can have this on your computer. You can also have this on your iPhone. And it's great. It tracks your mileage. It'll automatically track your mileage, so that way you can write off any business trips that you take throughout the year. And then it's also really great for tracking all of your expenses. I love this because at the end of the year, again, I'm able to go through and look through all of my expenses, and I'm also able to generate profit and loss reports. Makes it so easy for me to review where my business is financially, so that I can then give that over to my accountant. My accountant can also come into my QuickBooks and see any transactions or review things for themselves, which is just genuinely vital, especially for the financial side of your business, which I know a lot of us are not fans of, but it's kind of fun. And especially when you have a software and application that makes it easy to go through, like QuickBooks Self-Employed, like it's a huge plus. So those are, like, I would say, two of my favorites. And I also feel like maybe before we continue this episode, we are not being sponsored by any of these platforms. I definitely feel like I can get in a very like presentation type of like, I'll
Mode.
present
Yeah.
you, but I just want to make it clear, none of these platforms that we are talking to you about today, none of them sponsor the podcast. We are not getting paid anything to promote them. So anyways, all that to move forward. Han, what are some platforms that you go without?
Honestly, I feel like the two that you just talked about are arguably the most important. Like, if you're going to be like, oh, I don't need to use my phone for my business, first of all, you're crazy. But second of all, like, please get HoneyBook and QuickBooks. Like, those are like arguably the most important ones for your business and will save you so much time. A few other ones that like are super important and have significantly helped like our workload and, our process when it comes to, marketing and using social media, is a planning app. So this could be UNUM, it could be Planoly, it could be Plan, Preview. There's a lot of different apps. They all kind of do the same thing, but basically what you can do is you can sync it to your Instagram, and then from there you can upload photos to that app that you think, okay, these actually, might be something that I want to post or use on my feed, maybe for a reel cover or whatnot. And you can add those into that app and then move them around so that you can see how is your feed aesthetic going to look. Obviously, your aesthetic is not everything. Like, we want you to be posting things that are going towards your, ideal clients and that, feel like you and that you're really proud of. But at the same time, aesthetic matters when it comes to when people are looking at your page. Like, are they going to stay on there? Are they going to scroll? Are they going to like look at your captions? Are they going to click that link to go to your website? Aesthetic matters when it comes to that, like that hook. And so being able to use these planning apps and having a way to plan, it's almost like a game. I absolutely love like moving around the different like photos that I might be using and kind of seeing what works the most aesthetically. Sometimes Emma and I will send each other some options. We're like, what looks better? Or what should I use as this reel cover? And it's really incredible to be able to see that before you're posting. Because with a reel cover, which is incredible, is you can change it after you've posted, but with a carousel photo or whatnot, that's not changeable. You're going to have to go and re-upload an entire post. Believe it or not, even though it might only take 10 seconds to delete it, somebody's probably seen it. And so to save you that time from having to, upload and change and, repost and everything, it's so important to have one of those like planning apps to use. I will say most of the apps charge if you want to do more than one account. So like, if you have a personal and a business or, the podcast or whatnot, but you can use multiple ones and they all basically do the same thing. But I will say that there are little tweaks that are different in each of them. Like some of them you can only have like 15 photos for free and the rest is a paid piece. So kind of play around, see what best fits what you like. And I wouldn't give up, like see what works best for you, because it does make a big difference when it comes to planning out your feed. The next thing we wanted to talk about too is Pinterest. We absolutely love Pinterest. And honestly, we want to break it down kind of into two things with Pinterest. One is the posting aspect to Pinterest, and two is the creativity pull from Pinterest. So that first one is, what are you sharing onto Pinterest? How are you using Pinterest to market? Honestly, I have been using Pinterest for probably 5 years, and it makes a difference getting your work out there. Because you think about it, all the couples, when, couples are planning their dream day or planning engagement photos, they're going to be searching keywords. And if you are posting your photos into Pinterest and using those same keywords to post, they're going to find your photos, which will lead them to that link, lead them to your website. Like, this is just one more avenue for people to be able to find your work. When you are posting into Pinterest, make sure that you're using keywords that are searchable, that, couples are going to look for. Maybe you did a beach engagement shoot. When you're sharing that in that keyword box, use like beach couple photo shoot, engagement shoot, Oregon coast photo shoot, use keywords. It doesn't have to be a paragraph of like a blog. What you're looking for is really what is searchable. What are people constantly looking for in Pinterest that will lead them to this image so that it is more findable for that audience on Pinterest. And then also, as well as that, besides just photos, there's also videos that are doing really, really well on Pinterest, just short little like 2 or 3 second videos. This could be for like a video of a hair design or florals or a cake, like whatever BTS videos you have. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant, but videos do perform really well on Pinterest. And the last thing too, to make sure that you're posting, is collages. So we have seen like a huge spike when it comes to Pinterest of people pinning and resharing collages, because say you did this beach engagement shoot and you share a collage that has 4 different photos from this beach engagement shoot. A couple who is looking for inspo for their shoot is more likely to repin that and save that and be interested in that, because they don't have to go repin 4 different photos. They can do it once. And so that is a bigger pull for your audience to be able to, see and want to repin and share and continue to look at. And honestly, the more that it's in front of their face, the more likely they are to click onto it, find your website and everything. Other half of Pinterest is pulling creativity from it. And so being able to use Pinterest, maybe you're in a creative rut, maybe you're wanting to try something different on a wedding day. Maybe you're wanting to, experience, try different prompts and work with your couples in a new way, like using Pinterest to really pull some ideas from, like searching yourself. Maybe you're doing like a downtown shoot and you're like, okay, well, I want to find some other ideas or ways to be creative, like searching that into Pinterest, pulling ideas, pulling a mood board, pulling inspiration, and even sharing that with your clients to see like, hey, is this what we're going for? Is this, something that you're interested in? And making sure that your guys' styles, but then also your idea of what the shoot is going to be, making sure that aligns so that, again, you can really do the best of your ability. And, just staying creative. I feel like it's so easy to get in a creative rut. And so being able to see other people's work and, other prompts and other ideas and kind of feed off of that and pull that into one of your shoots is so fun, and also can completely change your client experience and that gallery that you're getting from a shoot.
Yeah, honestly, I love using Pinterest. Even as a videographer, like I pull so much inspiration off of Pinterest that it's like unreal. And I love using UNUM, or like Planoly. I use UNUM, but to like plan my feed grid, because it's just it is kind of fun. It's like Tetris. It's like a fun game of Tetris.
Good game.
And I like organizing my aesthetic. I think it's so much fun. Does your current client delivery system feel unexciting, limiting, and boring? Maybe you're still using good old Google Drive or Dropbox to deliver your clients' wedding films. If the answer to these is yes, it's time to level up your video delivery experience with VidFlow. VidFlow is a pay-per-use online platform that allows you to deliver fully branded websites for each of your clients. While being incredibly affordable, VidFlow is accessible on mobile, desktop, and smart TVs with included long-term hosting so that your clients can truly enjoy the entire experience when receiving their wedding films. When I first found VidFlow, it was such an easy switch that truly benefited my business substantially. With so many incredible features and options for customization and personalization, VidFlow continues to wow my clients time and time again. You can find VidFlow on Instagram or visit their website at vidflow.co. Use our code WGY20 for 20% off a yearly premium membership and level up your client experience today with VidFlow. The next two that we want to talk about is one of these is specific for videographers, and it is going to be Before You Fly. Actually, now that I think about it, more and more photographers I know are like getting drones and doing drone photos. So this is applicable to anyone who flies a drone. Basically, the app is called Before You Fly, and it's like the letter B, the number 4, the letter U, and then fly. What this app is it is an app that has like the drone maps, like the aerial space maps on them. You can literally go into the application, type in where you are or where you're going to see what type of regulated airspace you might be filming in, or if there are any temporary flight restrictions that day. Maybe you're not in a restricted airspace, but basically it is like your aerial view maps for drones. So this app has been vital. Every time I get a new inquiry or I'm looking at a wedding, I'm always going onto the Before You Fly app just to see where exactly the wedding is, and if it is in a restricted airspace, or there's anything that I need to know ahead of time before I bring my drone and fly it on the wedding day. So huge plus for anyone who's flying a drone. The second one is Notion, and Notion has genuinely become, honestly, it was my favorite application of 2023, and it'll probably be my favorite application of 2024. Notion is like a note-taking app, and it's basically a place where I can store any type of information I want to. I have all of my client folders in there. You can upload PDFs, you can upload graphics, you can take notes, you can have AI help you write, you can make lists. Like, Notion is genuinely the place that I have it on my computer and on my phone, so that way it's like synced and I can access it at any time. But it is the place where I literally store so much information. Huge plus, like, forget the Notes app and forget like Google Docs. Notion genuinely is where it's at, and I'm a huge fan of using Notion. But yeah, I would say like those would be 2 other ones. The last one that I would say really quickly is Google Spreadsheets. Definitely an app that Hannah and I use all the time. I mean, we have the entire We Got You podcast, like master doc on our Google spreadsheet. I have like my client workflows on master doc sheets, or master spreadsheets, but love Google spreadsheets, huge fan. My budget is on there. Like, I have all that. All my financial spreadsheets are Google spreadsheets. But yeah, I would say like those would be like 3 more platforms that definitely can't live without, honestly.
Oh, for sure. And honestly, I think what's so fun about this episode too is like these are all things that over the years, like it's not just a trending app where it's like, oh, this is something cool to use or might help. It's like these are things that like have made it years through our business and like significantly help. So, I mean, I feel like so many times I hear people say like, oh, the 12 platforms I can't live without. And I was like, I haven't even heard of half of them, or like ways to find trending audio or something, like an app for that, or like an app to see who's seen your profile. And I was like, honestly, you don't need a million apps. You don't need a million different things. And for myself, it's just like overwhelming to have that much. And so like we're kind of breaking down like the ones that for our business have kind of stood the test of time and significantly helped that we like literally cannot live without. So I promise it's not just like a funny thing on the title of this episode. Like these really genuinely are ones that significantly help our business.
And applications that we use literally like like all the time. Like these aren't applications we touch like every few months. Like these are applications that we're on all the time. Yeah.
I mean, we probably use multiple of them every single day for our business. And so business would not be as smooth without them. That's for especially the Excel sheets. I'm glad that you mentioned the Google spreadsheets because that is a huge one for organization. The last couple that we kind of wanted to touch on, one is Canva. Absolutely love Canva. Canva did not exist when we started our businesses. And I just I was like, man, if that had only existed, I am obsessed with Canva. And I'm sure, honestly, probably 95% of the people listening to this probably have a Canva account and know how incredible it is. Before Canva existed, I feel like I was creating graphics and words and, what are they called? Business cards and everything on Photoshop. And it's hard because Photoshop, it was mostly a desktop thing. And Canva is mobile and it's on your desktop. You can create teams in Canva where you can invite people to join projects on your Canva. You can create graphics. You can create, marketing pieces for your social media. You can create business cards, postcards, stickers, like literally anything you can think of. It's this hub of, creation and like digital creation. We definitely recommend getting the pro version. It is not that much per month. It is also a write-off. Beautiful. But it just kind of like opens up that, it opens up that world a little bit more so that you really truly can fully access everything that Canva has to offer. One of my favorite things too about Canva is that you can add your branding into Canva. So you can, set the branding colors, set your branding fonts, your logos, everything like that. You can really like transform it to be a very personalized workspace so that when you're creating graphics or whatnot, you can easily access your branding fonts and your branding colors. And you're not trying to remember what those, numbers were for your colors or, the hex codes and everything. You're not trying to remember and like pull all those or trying to find your branding PDF. Those are all integrated already into Canva. So being able to have those be an easier use and keeping it consistent with your, social media, with your marketing, with your business, with your branding is literally life. I think back to when it was like Photoshop and there was no such thing as Canva. And honestly, I feel like I'm talking about like when TV was black and white, there was no color, but like,
yeah, you make me sound old. I'm like, I don't like that.
I know. And I was like, Instagram also was created when I was in high school. And I was like, dude, I'm in my 20s still. I just think this is crazy how much everything changes and adapts and stuff. So Canva, if you guys are not already on board the Canva train, please get an account, kind of like jump into it, dive into it, and just see all that it can offer you and how much faster and easier it makes things when it comes to, marketing more cohesive and everything. The last thing too I wanted to talk about, which is an app I use all the time, is Lightroom Mobile. Obviously, if you're a photographer, Lightroom. We all use it for editing, but having the mobile app on your phone and accessible for BTS videos, you can edit your videos in there and have those colorings be very cohesive and consistent with your branding and your style. You can edit your BTS photos in there. Having that Lightroom Mobile, I genuinely think that consistency and, what I share on my Instagram story is all edited through my Lightroom Mobile. It's all with the same presets and style and edits that I use on my feed. It keeps that consistency and keeps that like almost quality and trust with clients. If your clients are seeing stuff on your Instagram story where it's like really icky yellow lighting or like maybe not as an aesthetic photo or BTS or whatnot, they're going to be like, whoa, she thought, this sounds harsh, but like she thought that was cute, but I didn't. And so like, do we have the same style? Like you want to make sure that what you're putting out there and what you're sharing is consistent with the work that you are showing as well. Your Instagram story is not just a playground for sharing all of your personal stuff and, all these fun extra tidbits and photos and random things. It is also a place to be a little bit more curated. Obviously, what's beautiful is it's around for 24 hours. And so it's not as permanent as your feed. However, you're wanting to make sure that still when you're sharing work, it's at least stylized the same as your branding so that your clients and potential clients who are viewing it, they can see, like she has a style, she has a look and like can fully trust in that and see that that is kind of like existing in every corner of your business and brand. So Lightroom Mobile, even if you're a videographer, having Lightroom Mobile to edit, BTS photos or whatnot, or anything that you're sharing in your story is also really incredible. I know a lot of photographers also sell presets that are specifically for mobile. I know I've created and tweaked my own preset for the mobile version. So like there's different ways to do it, but at the same time, like just having that as an option and being able to edit things that go on your story so that it is still cohesive and consistent with your branding.
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't agree more. I use Lightroom Mobile all the time to edit any like BTS photos. And I think just that consistency is truly key. Been super cool to share these different platforms. Again, like these are platforms that we are using day in and day out in our businesses that have been vital to the success in our own careers. 9 of the best platforms, just to kind of go back through them, would be Honeybook, QuickBooks, UNUM, or Plan or Planoly, Pinterest, Before You Fly for drone operators, Notion, Google Spreadsheets, Lightroom Mobile, and Canva, the pro version. But we hope that you are able to implement any of these platforms that you want into your workflow in 2024. And if you ever have any questions, you can always send us a DM at WeGotYou_podcast or jump into our Facebook group and see what other people are using as their most used platforms for 2024.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the We Got You podcast. We would absolutely love it if you could take an extra minute to leave us a review and let us know what you think. DM us a screenshot of it and we'll send you a coffee on us. If you want access to an exclusive community, rad freebies, giveaways, and wedding referrals, then join our Facebook group today. Also, if you aren't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure that you're following along on Instagram at WeGotYou_podcast to stay up to date. We'll see you next week on the We Got You podcast.